The Grimwade family actually showing real life despite social media feeding us all that real hype. We're just some real guys trying to give some high definition to reality. Family acrobatically juggling life, smothered in Christ to avoid eternal casualty trust. It ain't easy, but teamwork make the dream work. It's me, Ella, Hezzy, Hosanna, Harper and Hallie, and I ain't forget that has a rage and family.
Yes guys, what's good, Grimwade Gang, how are you? This is quite a tough video, to be honest, because it's not fun. It's not a nice topic. No, it's not. And it's something that, you know, we take incredibly seriously, and it's not a joke. But without blabbering on, we have had a lot of our Grimwade Gang members alert us to the fact of something we already were aware of, to be honest, because, you know, the YouTube world is big but small. There were two pretty much pioneers, really. Like, you know, I know when we came on the platform, you know, a couple of years ago, they had already been doing it for years and years and years. So I'm guessing everyone knows who I'm talking about. They're an Australian couple, and they are Jamie and Nikki. Now, we don't know Jamie and Nikki personally. No. I have had small kind of encounters with Jamie in a group sense.
Just online,
yeah, just online in group forums or whatnot. However, I do not confess to know the man or, you know, anything. What I do know, and this is just from an outside looking in, is they're incredibly hardworking and have been over the last, you know, X amount of time. Because I know, you know, doing YouTube ourselves, that you don't...
Success don't just land in your lap.
It don't land in your lap, no. So it is a lot of hard work and a lot of hard graft.
And it can definitely be stressful.
100%.
And yeah, it's not an easy thing to do and keep going, especially for as long as they have.
Yep, absolutely. And so basically, you know, a lot of our Grimwade Gang have asked us, can you pray for Jamie and Nikki? Absolutely we can, and their children and their family unit in general. So what has been made official, you know, they recently put up a post that was, Jamie and Nikki weren't in it, it was just some text, and it was basically saying, you know, it's official, they have separated. Now, even saying that, my heart sinks a little, because I don't like seeing people get into relationships, especially when kids are introduced into the relationship, and then the relationship, for whatever reason, doesn't work out. That is not something that, you know, we're like, you know, take lightly or whatnot. But for God's grace, our relationship could have done just the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And I do have to point out, you know, from us personally, this is our humble opinion. You know what we're like here. We just say it as it is, and this is how we think. We don't impose, and you lot don't got to think exactly the same way as us. But what we believe is that God has been, you know, the centerpiece of our relationship. Definitely and our family. And so whenever we've been whiling or bugging, we've been able to look at a foundational truth that we both believe in to see who is whiling. Do you know what I mean?
I personally don't have a clue how relationships last when God is not involved, because, well, from our own experience, if, like Tim said, we didn't have a central truth to hang on to, we would not still be together. Do you know what I mean? And it's horrible to say that, but at the same time, it's just giving glory to God, because relationships are hard, man. They are hard work. And, you know, people change over time. Situations change. Your whole surroundings can change throughout the course of your relationship. And if you both are not hanging on to something that you both believe in, like wholeheartedly believe in, whether you're with the other person or not, then who's to say what you're going to wake up one morning and decide, okay, this is the new me, or this is how I want to live life now, or whatnot. And that can lead to so many different outcomes. And obviously, unfortunately, for many people, it can end up in the end of their relationship. And like Tim and I said, we don't confess to know the reasons at all why Jamie and Nikki have split up, sadly. But, you know, they've obviously gone through hardship, and it's obviously not a decision they've made lightly. You know, I'm sure it's been something that has been a discussion for a long time.
Yeah, because if I can just say, when you just on a normal, like if you weren't in the public eye, right, and you got a relationship, you've got friends, you've got family who are invested in this same relationship. Now you got children invested in the relationship. You've got assets that are, you know what I mean. There is so much stuff that even outside of the public eye, it wouldn't be easy to just walk away from.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's hard, man, because I'll be honest, all I want is for people to kiss and make up.
Yeah, I mean,
like, as stupid as that sounds, like, I mean that in a, you know, in a real sense. Like, I just wish there was a way that, you know, they could come to an agreement and it could be reconciled. Absolutely, that's the word I was searching for desperately.
And the thing is, with reconciliation obviously comes a lot of hurt.
Yeah, 100.
Because when you've been through a hard situation, it's the rebuilding of it that is the really hard part, because you can carry your hurts for life.
Real
Do you know
talk.
what I mean? And I think at the end of the day...
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of relationships that are still together with two hurt people in it. And it's not to say that they shouldn't be together, but it's hard work and you have to make the relationship work. When you first met, it might have just bubbled along nicely. But when you're working through painful issues that have taken place, it is hard work and you have to keep
we're
it
talking
together.
about painful issues.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the ones that just spring into my mind straight away is... I've seen this in relationships and thought, oh my gosh, you know, this must be so difficult. And that's if you lost a child or something along the lines of that. Exactly. Obviously, infidelity in your marriage, so anyone cheating or whatnot. But saying that, like, you know, it's mad because Ella and I agreed on our wedding day, you know, and privately, away from the cameras, like not just when you're saying the for better or for worse, and you know, for richer and for poorer. It wasn't just on our
wedding day; it's obviously discussions before we.
100%, 100%. But I remember the day in the office, and we was like, "Look, road talk. It's ride or die, through whatever the weather." We're riding together. Yeah. And we meant that stuff. And we've had fights. We've had arguments. Do you know what I mean? We've had blazing rows. You know, like, and I know everyone's so complimentary of us. But yeah, like, you know, in public before, you know, in private before. Yeah, I think we are real. But then I'll be honest. And sorry, that just made me cringe a bit. We are real. We try to be as honest as we can. But with each other, we are like, look, if it's going to be something that's going to hurt the other person, but it's going to be for the better of the relationship, then it's got to be spoke about.
So many people want to compliment when they see a relationship that is #relationship goals and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, well, we can put whatever name we want to put on it, but I can almost, without knowing, guarantee you that any relationship that looks amazing has been through the fire. Like, literally.
Oh, real talk.
Because I don't think there's any relationship that's standing that has just been all merry and roses and, do you know what I mean, nice things, because that's not life.
No, and also, say that has been their portion for that amount of time, something's coming. Yeah. Like, there is no... Anyone out there got a perfect life? Like, we ain't. Do you know what I mean? I don't know anyone who has. You know, if you have, please put it in the comment section below. But yeah, like, you know, things are difficult. And on that note, I would encourage you guys, like, and YouTube in general, whoever may watch this video, don't, like, you know, make assumptions about what's happened with Jamie and Nikki. Don't... you know, put stuff out on your socials, apart from well wishes, do you know what I mean? Well wishes and, like, okay, you know, we just hope the best for you, prayers, you know, all these kind of things, that's fine, but none of that, oh, yeah, so-and-so cheated on so-and-so and so-and-so did this.
You don't know.
Nah, if you don't live in the building, children, then...
And to be honest, I think something that...
You ain't no, just saying you can't say for sure anything.
Yeah, and I think something that we try and hold on to is that in a relationship, if it's going well, it's the two people that are in it that are putting in the hard work for it to go well. And if it's going badly, then it's the two people that are in it that are going to have held some sort of responsibility somewhere along the way for that going bad.
Yeah.
Even if it was one person went out and cheated, or one person went out and spent all the savings in the account, or whatever it is, there's going to be some reason as to why, and that doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
But there is responsibility on both parts, and that's what we try and live by. And of course, not everyone's going to adhere to that, but that's what we try and display in our relationship, or live out, in our relationship.
No, 100. And I think as well, when it comes to like the blame game, as it were, do you know what I mean? Oh, you went out and spent all the savings. Like, one thing I was taught by people who were close to me early on is, Tim, you just work on you. You make sure you are doing your part for your partner, and then let them worry about what they're doing for you. As long as you are doing, you know, for them, to be honest, it's a bit of a knock-on domino effect, because if I'm going out of my way to woo you, to support you, to love you, to respect you, then 9 times out of 10, the chances are, what do you think is going to come back? It's going to be good things. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be, oh, you know, he's so sweet, goes out his way. Let me do, you know what? Let me really put a lot into the cooking I'm doing tonight, or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? I'm just pulling things out of the air, but
it's a two-way thing. It's a partnership.
It takes two to tango, as they say. When there is problems, it's been a joint effort to some degree. Do you know what I mean? Some people say, because some people say, especially in the whole kind of cheating realm, they'll say, oh, well, I went and did it because da. No, you did it because you decided to do it. That's it. That's it. That's all there is to it.
And then when the other person on the other hand wants to go, oh, my days, they went out and they did this and that, you have to think, okay, but then what was I not doing that led them to doing that?
These are the things that will help in your relationships, but they're not easy to do. Like, I know me and Elsa spoke to, you know, a gang of people, like, when they've asked for our advice, our humble opinion on stuff, and, you know, it's not, like, we even kind of go, oh, shouldn't we say, because it's just like, this is what we've committed to each other, but I don't know if, I'm going to say this, you know, I'm going to say, so when Ella riles up and goes, oh, shut up, Tim, because she's really angry because the kids have just wound her up, you know, on a long day or whatever, and she's come in and snapped at me.
Or just a long morning.
Or just a long morning. And then I'm going to go, oh, it's cool, babe. Like, do you know what I mean? Or whatever. You know, these kind of things are easier said than done. And sometimes that won't be my response. And then we'll have to work out from then, you know what I mean, what went wrong. But, you know, we just really wanted to, really send our heart out to Jamie and Nikki and anyone else who's going through, 100% to their children, because you guys know, Grimwade Gang, this is what we are about on this channel. You know, family values, you know, working, trying your best and letting God do the rest. I hope, no matter what the outcome, do you know what I mean, with those guys, that God can, you know,
be a comfort to you at this time.
Absolutely.
Can be your guide, whether you adhere to the faith or not. Like, at the end of the day, he can still guide you, and hope and pray that, God willing, if there can be reconciliation, then maybe there will be, but who knows. But most of all, that you can have an amicable relationship moving forward for the good of the children, really, and also for your own well-being.
But then, you know what, on that note, I always take into consideration that I haven't personally been in this situation, right? So our heart would always be, as you could probably imagine, oh, you know, do your best for the children, but for yourselves as well. Like, but basically, we want your whole family unit to work, right? But someone else might turn around and say to us, well, you know what, Tim, you don't know what I've been through in this relationship, or whatever. And I have to go, okay, because you're right, I don't. Do you know what I mean? So we're not here giving a blueprint of the Grimwade manual that works. No. Like, because our manual is made up as we go along. Like, barring the sticking to, you know, God's things as an outline, there's still things that pop up that you weren't expecting. Do you know what I mean? And you have to hit on the fly. Do you know what I mean?
I think it is important, to clarify that at the end of the day, as believers, when there is infidelity in a relationship, and I'm not saying that's what has happened in this case, because I don't know.
No, because we have mentioned that a couple of times, but
Yeah.
that's not what we are hinting at on anything. It's
Because
just
we don't have a clue.
no, it's just a common thing that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And so,
Like, at the
unfortunately,
end-
we've fallen into a spider web of doing the same thing and mentioning it. But yeah,
That can be a grounds for people splitting up. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a hard thing to get through. But then it doesn't then mean that life is going to be rosy and merry afterwards, because it comes with a lot of other complications. As much as we adhere to trying to, you know, push for reconciliation and moving forward together, there may be times when that decision has to be made. But like Tim's saying, we're not trying to say this is how it works and this is our manual. This is just what we have decided to try and do. You know, cause
and
that's
you get
not
to
the
hold
only-
us to this as well. Remember, we invite you into our lives. Like I saw Jamie say, oh, you know, thank you so much for all your support. And, you know, we get it. Like, we invited you into our lives. So now you are invested in our lives, and I'm paraphrasing, and we haven't explained to you what has gone on. But now, my words, when they want to tell anyone, or if they want to tell anyone, let them have the final say in that. Because at the end of the day, you know, the whole phrase of, but you don't pay the bills, you don't love my wife, you don't, or love my husband, or do you know, you see all that
I
kind
think
of
you
stuff.
just have to remember that as much as YouTube is entertainment for many people, the people that are doing it,
They're
is
real
their
people.
real lives.
Yeah,
and
real lives.
They're real people, exactly.
Yeah.
So give them the space and time that they need, and just show them respect. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. As you would want. If you just think, like, honestly, take a little second right now, think, I've just split up with my significant other half, and significant other, sorry, and everyone's watching, do you know what I mean? But this is not a game to me, do you know what I mean? And how painful, and years of behind the scenes, you know, building this relationship, having children, do you know what I mean, all this kind of stuff, and then now it's all come, you know, unfortunately, what I feel like right now, crashing down. The last thing you need is smart Alex telling you, oh well, what you need to do, Jim, is just, do you know what I mean? You're like, okay, give it a break, like, do you know what I mean? So big up Jamie and Nikki and all their family, and you know, our heart goes out to you. We will pray for you guys. You know, and I know maybe that might sound petty to some, or, oh yeah, great, that's a lot of help. But that's what we're going to do. We obviously wish you all the best, however it works out. And to any people who have gone through, you know, similar situations, who might watch our channel and have separated from a partner or whatnot, I hope we haven't offended, you know, you guys either. Because, like we said, at the end of the day, we're here doing life our way, and trying our best to, you know, be positive, move forward, you know, yada yada. And at the moment, by God's grace, Ella and Tim are here still standing. But for God's grace, we could be separated the same way. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't mean I don't love her. That doesn't mean she doesn't love me. It just means we're just being honest. Life is not a fairy tale. Fairy tales are for Disney.
We're not trying to profess to be more than what we are.
Nah.
We are mere human beings who've made many mistakes in life.
Yes,
As
sir.
Tim has said, for God's grace, we're still here.
And if you stick with us, you'll probably find them all out, bit by bit, as they come to memory and as they become relevant. You know, we will share with you, because what is going through a hard time if not to build up and encourage someone else? Do you know what I mean? Because no, you are not alone in having a hard time in a relationship. That is the most common thing. It's just people have very good poker faces. I don't really care about a poker face. It just is what it
Some people
is.
have very good Instagram. Some people have very good, you know what I mean? Like,
They do.
but yeah, it's not real
So,
life.
Grimwade Gang, please, we encourage you to pray for those guys. If you know, want us to share on anything else on this kind of topic, please let us know in the comment section below. I didn't even say, but if you're new around here and you've watched to the end of the video, then thank you, and I hope you'll subscribe and stick with us and see where we go from here. Ella is feeling so-so.
Yeah.
So that's how, just for our Grimwade gang who are, you know, following the pregnancy and all that kind of stuff,
My trusty mug of ice and water, so that's
trying to help her through. So guys, we love you so much, and we'll speak to you soon.
Take care.
Much
Bye.
love. Bye.
So you think you were right? Bring it on, prove me